One of the contributors to having quality conversations is having a clear purpose. When having quality conversations, understanding the purpose is crucial. This helps us to define the content and the result. The overarching point here is to make sure that the conversation doesn't blur into multiple types of conversations, but instead has a clear purpose and progressive aligned outcomes. There may have been conversations in the past where there has not been alignment, or they have not gone in the intended direction for either party. So we will now investigate how you can approach conversations to avoid this. A conversation that focuses on an employee's attitude may spiral out of control because you will both be talking about something that is not observable. Attitudes are deeply embedded in the employee's belief system, and changing that can be challenging. When having the quality conversation, try not to begin by focusing on attitudes. Instead, lead with behavior. It is important to understand what we distinguish between behaviors and attitudes, what we observe versus what conclusions we have drawn from what we observe. We all make assumptions, but when your assumptions cloud the facts, conversations become painful. Assumptions are your brain's way of processing what you have seen. These may or may not be correct. The trick is to filter your assumptions before they cloud your conclusions. When we focus on the other person's attitude, what will be the impact? Pause the video whilst you write down your answers. Describing the employee's attitude does not help them to understand that what is being done is unacceptable. For example, if you say, "You need to focus more so that you can improve your performance," the employee will likely say that they are focused. Instead, if you describe the behaviors you observed, they are more likely to engage in the conversation. For example, if you say, "I have noticed that the order forms were not completed for our last 3 one-on-one meetings." By focusing on the employee's attitude, it does not leave room in the conversation to guide the employee towards a productive change. But if you give the employee a specific example about what they did or didn't do that had an impact, then there is room in the conversation to explore options, reasons, and solutions. For example, you might say, "I have noticed that your order forms were not completed for our last 3 one-on-one meetings. As a result, we were unable to review the purchases that we have made." Leading with behavior and providing clear feedback results in clarity in current performance and expectations. Behaviors are evidences that can be solidly presented in conversations about performance. Here are some helpful tips about asking the right questions at the right time. Their answer is the mother of your next question. Use clean language. Replace the word "but" with "and." Be honest. Positive leadership. Listen and show empathy. Without trust, your people cannot develop a stable base at work. They need to feel comfortable at work. What they learn over what they earn. Making your employees feel heard and understood can improve their overall health. Carrying around anxiety or frustration can hinder an employee's performance. Work with the person, not the problem. Cultures flow down, not up. Positive chemistry among team members could make a big difference to your overall company culture. Next, we will look at how you conclude the conversation to help achieve goals. Close the gap. Closing the gap is a reference to the space between where the employee currently is and where they want to be. For example, you may have an employee that is performing well and meeting the standards, and they are looking for more responsibility. Therein lies the gap. Once we have identified the gap, we can utilize the tools and systems available to us to always keep improving. This can be applied whether you are dealing with a high or low performer. Any form of gaps left unchecked lead to distrustful and insecure environments, organizational inefficiency, and a weakened leadership. Remember back to the beginning, when we spoke about the requests for consequence management and empowering employees.